Hello again, and welcome to our November 2024 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get into it. First off, Fujifilm announced the Eterna, their first video-focused medium format camera. This is something that we've been waiting to see from Fuji for a while now, and I cannot wait to properly test this camera out. They recently had it on show at Interbi 2024, where a lucky few managed to see it in the flesh. Though this was purely an early physical prototype example, not a fully working unit. But there is still plenty to look at from just seeing the body alone. And listening to a few of the interviews people like Cine have very graciously made public. Eterna is such a great name for this camera, and physically it looks very slick. It uses the same 102 megapixel sensor found in the GFX100 II, which has a physical size of 43.8 by 32.9mm, and is paired with their X Processor 5. I'm intrigued to see if this means that there's any improvement in overall performance and image quality over the GFX100 II. In the very limited images that are available for the camera at the moment, we can see a rough range of inputs and outputs. On the back it looks to have BNCs for Genlock and timecode, a full-size SDI, HDMI, remote port, Ethernet, mic input, USB-C port and DC in. On the front we can also see a 2-pin LEMO out and an 8-pin on the right hand side of the camera as well. So it does look well connected overall, and the 2-pin on the front will be a welcome addition for productions running Fizz systems. There is also a dial on the front of the camera which could be used for some kind of ND system, which would be really awesome to see. It also seems to have 2 media card slots and uses a V-mount battery on the back, which is great to see as well. It also has screens on both sides of the camera, which would be great for ACs and operators. You can clearly see that it's been influenced by other cinema camera designs, which should make it nice for more controlled cine-style workflows. We can also see that it has a top handle, which seems to allow for some kind of electronic pass-through. This looks like it should allow for some kind of control and maybe hot shoe pass-through, but we will see when we get a camera in. The Eterna uses the same G-mount as the GFX100 II, but it also seems to lock, which is awesome to see. I'm hoping that the lenses will still twist on, but also lock into place. If so, this mount should be rock solid and decently easy to use as well. This is great, especially when you consider the potentially very large lenses you're going to need to use with this camera, including their new 32 to 90mm t3.5 OIS WR powered zoom lens that they also showed off at Interbi. This does look like it's quite a chunky lens, but considering its focal range, image circle and t-stop, that's to be expected. It also looks like Fujifilm are developing some kind of PL or LPL mount as well, which looks like it has data pass-through as well, which is really nice to see. We should be getting more details about the camera next year, and personally, I cannot wait to get my hands on it to see how it performs. Let us know what you think of the Eterna in the comments below, and if you're excited for larger sensor format cameras like the Eterna and the Blackmagic 17K. Aputure have announced 2 new fixtures, the 80 and 1000C, which both use their new BLAIR-CG light engine. This new engine consists of LEDs covering blue, lime, amber, indigo, red, cyan and green, and aims to fix some of the gaps in the light spectrum that conventional LEDs have. Aputure have created an excellent video showing some fantastic visual examples of exactly why they have been designed this way, and how these lights perform compared to traditional fixtures and existing LED solutions. The 80C is an 80 watt fixture and the 1000C is 1000 watts. They both feature the ProLock Bowens mount, which is awesome, have a CCT range of 1800 to 20,000, and they both have a range of available accessories. I'm really excited to get these in as they look like they are a serious step in LED lighting. And if you're interested in them, they are both available to pre-order now on our website. Oh yeah, and Aputure have also started shipping their Infinimats, which they announced a while ago. Up next, RigWheels and Emotimo have combined forces to create a new single rail motion control setup, which looks pretty interesting. This system uses a single rail which then underslings an RS4 Pro, which can then be operated remotely and programmed to execute a range of moves. Emotimo systems are really nice to use, so this could be a really great solution, especially considering how relatively inexpensive it is and how compact it can be broken down to compared to other solutions. You can run a single rail with extenders and supports that the wheels can just run over freely. It can also understand where it is on the rail, which means that you can have it do things like ping-ponging across the rail, and it can also handle camera payloads up to 10 pounds or roughly 4.5 kilograms. We are planning on getting one for our central London showroom, so if you want to check it out for yourself, you can just drop us an email via demo@cvp.com to book a demo with one of our fantastic technical consultants. DJI have announced their new Mic Mini, which is an incredibly small and affordable set of wireless mics aimed at people creating online content. These are available as a single or dual channel set and can be used with a range of different devices. It can be connected via 3.5mm TRS for use with cameras, connected to smartphones via USB-C or Lightning, or even wirelessly with a few of DJI's camera systems like the Pocket 3. Both the TX and RX have a rough battery life of 10 hours, but the set comes with a charging case which extends that time to about 48 hours. The transmitter looks insanely small. It looks to be only around the size of a pound coin and weighs just 10 grams. It also has a clip and magnets built in for mounting as well. Loads of people use the built-in mics on the Mic 2s just clipped onto people's shirts, so this TX being this much smaller will make it far more discreet when being used like this. The RX can be mounted a few different ways and has 5 levels of gain adjustment which can be controlled via the dial on it. It also has built-in active noise reduction and limiting to help reduce audio recording issues. And issues can be reduced further if you use the Memo app, which can record a second safety track separately. It has a rated range of 400 meters, which should be more than enough for most creators. This is the third wireless mic set in DJI's lineup, and they're most affordable at just £79 for a single channel TX-RX set. The two big limitations of this system over the Mic 2 is that it cannot record onto the TX, and you cannot plug mics into them either. You just have to use the built-in mics, which a lot of people used on the Mic 2s. But given their large size reduction and lower cost, for a lot of creators that compromise may be worth making. Both the single and dual channel sets are available to order now on our website. DJI also announced a new set of FPV goggles, the Goggles N3, which are aimed at being a budget alternative to their Goggles 3. Cooke have announced a new series of Cine lenses designed for 65mm imager cameras, the Panchro 65s. This set at release will consist of a 30, 40, 55, 75, 100 and 152mm, all of which are T2.5, apart from the 30 and 40mm, which are T2.8, and the 152mm, which is T2.9. These lenses look physically pretty consistent, and only range in weight around 500 grams, which isn't too bad considering their image circle. Information about them is pretty limited currently, but Cooke will be announcing more information early next year, and we can't wait to see these on a 65mm camera very soon. Sony have launched their latest flagship mirrorless camera, the Alpha 1 II, and their fastest E-mount zoom lens to date, the 28-70mm f2 G Master. We had a look at both of these in a previous video, which you can check out via the link below, but long story short, the Alpha 1 II shares a good chunk with the original Alpha 1, but does have some key improvements, including the addition of Sony's AI processing unit for greatly improved autofocus experience. The 28-70mm f2 G Master is optically one of Sony's best lenses to date. It offers a great focal range in a surprisingly light and well-built housing that can capture excellent, clean, sharp imagery. Both of these are available to pre-order now on our website. Sony also announced firmware roadmaps for a range of their cinema cameras. Some of these new firmwares are years away, which people online seem pretty disappointed with. Sony have a page on their site which details all of this, so if you want to learn more, check that out, link to which is in the description below. Nikon have announced their newest entry-level APS-C Z-mount mirrorless camera, the Z50 II. This camera features a 20.9 megapixel APS-C sensor that has been used in some previous Nikon cameras, but this camera does have a large range of upgrades over the original Z50, such as a faster processor, improved still frame rates, and improved video performance. Physically, it's changed quite a bit too. It looks really compact, and looks like it has a nice large grip compared to other entry-level APS-C cameras. It also has a flippy LCD screen, which will be a welcome addition for video shooters, can record 4K up to 30 or up to 60 with a 1.5 times crop, and Full HD up to 120 frames per second. It's going to be priced at £849 body only, which does position it quite nicely, and it's available to pre-order now on our website. Right, let's get into our quick-fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Axoon have announced a V-Lock adapter for mounting their wireless transmitters onto V-mount cameras, while still providing power pass-through to the camera. Angelbird have announced a new series of CF Express Type A cards, and an updated range of readers for CF Express Type A, Type B, and SD. Atomos have released firmware updates for both their Ninja and Shogun series of monitor recorders. Apple released a range of updates for their creative applications, including Final Cut Pro. Blackmagic released 9.1.2 for the Ursa Cine 12K LF. We are working hard on this review at the moment. It's taking a while, I know, but it's a large review, and I promise it's worth the wait. Bright Tangerine have introduced their series of accessories for the C400. This includes some very affordable bits compared to their regular offerings. Canon have announced upcoming firmware updates for a range of their Cinema EOS cameras. Fujifilm released a range of firmware updates for their cameras, which they announced back in October, links to those in the description. Laowa announced both the nanomorph 60mm t2.9 1.5 times anamorphic macro lens and 15mm f5 full frame Cooke lens. Lightbridge released their new tabletop essentials lighting kit. Red have published some new beta firmware for their DSM-C3 series of cameras. They are all available to download now via Red's support page. Rode has announced their new wireless micro series of smartphone wireless mics. Sigma have released 4 new APS-C contemporary lenses in RF mount. Sirui have released their 40mm t1.8 1.33 times Super 35 autofocus anamorphic lens for a range of mirrorless mount cameras. SMOHD Page OS 6 is now available to download. Smorig have released a cage kit for the Shinobi 2 monitor and a series of accessories for the Canon C400. Tamron have announced the 11-20mm f2.8 for APS-C RF mount cameras. Tilta have shown off their Pixis cage more. Board & Camera have released their series of accessories for the Blackmagic Ursa Cine 12K and upcoming 17K. And last but not least, Zeiss have announced 3 new Supreme Zoom Radiance Cine lenses and the Syncraft Scenario 2.1 system. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below. Also, let us know what you think of this piece of camera setup. This is from the 12K video, and we're using the C80 to film on now, which we've replaced the R5C with. Let us know how it looks, and we'll probably do a video on it. It looks sick, dude. It looks sick.